What's up, everybody? This is Ninja Burrito, and we're gonna have a discussion today about Ninja Gaiden 4. I'm playing a lot of Ninja Gaiden 4. As you may or may not know, I am a pretty big Ninja Gaiden fan. I've been playing it since 2004, although I suppose I did dabble with some of the NES games before that. I had them all emulated on an early version of Windows XP way back in the day. Because my dad was into computers. And so I dabbled, but I didn't really gravitate towards the NES games until much later in life, where I was like, oh, I should go back and give these a fair shake. So Ninja Gaiden I've played for a long time. Now, it's not my main genre, you know what I mean? I play other genres. I play a lot of FPS. I play a lot of MOBA, MMO. I play a lot of things, but Ninja Gaiden has a special place in my heart, and always has, because it was there when I was in middle school, I was in high school, and it was just my escape from life, which was pretty critical for me at that time. But I want to talk about Ninja Gaiden 4. A lot of hate, a lot of positivity, it's all over the place. For the most part, a lot of the haters have kind of been written off at this point by the broader community. But there are some things in the game that are not perfect, but nobody really expected it to be perfect anyways. There's bound to be some issues. For me personally, I think there's an issue with like cracking on ultimate techniques. Sometimes it's too tied to your soft lock on target and not so much picking the closest nearby enemy, or not always adhering to the direction that you push during ultimate techniques, where you might tell it to go to this far away enemy for the next part of the technique, and sometimes it does it, and sometimes it's like, nah. So you're like, and people have their gripes with certain things, but overall, I've been really enjoying Ninja Gaiden 4. One of the things that I think about when it comes to Ninja Gaiden, right, and you've probably heard this in some of my more popular videos, is that mastery over Ninja Gaiden typically comes down to two things, right? One, beating the game on Master Ninja is like that pinnacle. Can you beat this game on its hardest difficulty? But that's often not the most difficult challenge that a Ninja Gaiden actually offers. The second, more difficult thing has always been the side content. The trials, in particular, have always stood out as like this just overbearing, really difficult piece of content. Now, in Ninja Gaiden 2004, we didn't have trials, but in Ninja Gaiden Black, a year later, we did get trials, and yeah, they're hard. You can play them on multiple difficulties. Eternal Legend was like this crazy gauntlet. There's some interesting ones for sure. And then, in Ninja Gaiden Sigma, which is the more popular game to play today, just because it's more accessible. In that one, we have all the Rachel trials, and you play as Rachel, and it's ridiculous. And we have Unearthed 04. Unearthed Challenge 4 is an absolute nightmare in that game. It is like the gatekeeper. You can spend all your time on the game getting Master Ninja rank on all the chapters, on Master Ninja difficulty, beating the game multiple times, beating all the trials for the first time on like normal. And you'll put 100 hours into that game trying to get the platinum, and then you've got this Unearthed Challenge 04 that just gatekeeps you because it's so unfair and so difficult. Of course, the more you do it, if you go for that platinum 2 or 3 times, eventually you'll get that trial down to the point where you can do it in like 10 minutes. You die a couple times and then you're done. But that's like 300 or 400 hours of gameplay before you get to that point, And so we had trials. We had trials that are very, very difficult. You'll spend like 8, 10, 12 hours on a single trial trying to figure it out, right? And then in Ninja Gaiden 2, the trials came as DLC, and they were really hard, but it also introduced survival mode that was really, really difficult. And I thought that, survival mode is brutal. People like to talk about beating Master Ninja difficulty on Ninja Gaiden 2. Most people just didn't try it, and those who did, yeah, it's hard. but have you done the achievements for survival? Have you done the trials on all difficulties? It's very, dude, some of them are insanity, honestly. Um, so yeah, the side content is what's hard. In Sigma 2, it's the tag missions. In in Ninja Gaiden 3, well, Ninja Gaiden 3 might be a special case where some of the trials are pretty damn difficult, but Ultimate Ninja on the story might be harder. So that one might be a special case. So Ninja Gaiden 4, NG4, the new one, the Yakumo saga, right? With this one, when I beat the game on normal and went and did all the achievements and got the Master Ninja clear with no items and yada yada yada, I put the game down for a couple days and was like, hey, I kind of did my thing. And I'm like, I've never been like a no item runner. I've never been a challenge runner for Ninja Gaiden. I just like to get good at the game so that I can have fun on Master Ninja, and get the top ranking for the missions or whatever. And what I noticed was that Ninja Gaiden 4 tracks some cool metrics for you that are actually kind of enticing to chase after. I thought about the idea of like what would a 100% save file look like for Ninja Gaiden 4. So I started looking through the chapter select, the purgatory trials, and the regular trials for the challenge mode. I started looking through the all save data where it tracks like your ranks for each mission. And I just wanted to imagine what it might look like to actually 100% Ninja Gaiden 4. And it's quite interesting, because you have a game that goes out of its way to track this new difficulty modifier that we've never had in past Ninja Gaiden games called Deathwish mode, where it takes away all your upgrades and all your accessories. You're raw dogging it. I think this is the greatest idea, man, because like for those players who are not challenge run players, having that little like UI element that tracks that thing to say, hey, you can go and try this on Deathwish. You thought Master Ninja was hard. Try Master Ninja on Deathwish. Try normal mode Deathwish. And it tracks all your difficulties for all your chapters and all your purgatory gates and all your trials. Deathwish is on everything. So if you wanted to 100% the game, you're going to put Deathwish on everything. And it makes the game a lot more challenging. You don't have your upgrades. You don't have your maximum health. You don't have your accessories, which the accessories in this game are pretty damn strong. Like, we used to complain a little bit when Sigma 1 introduced some accessories. Now, this game's accessories are crazy, but the game is hard enough that it rises. It almost never feels like you're too overpowered, but on Master Ninja, like, it can feel a little like you feel strong, you feel powerful, but the enemies are also powerful. If you mess up, accessories or not, you mess up, which is good. It feels well balanced, is what I mean to say. And when you take those accessories away, the balance goes in favor of the enemies, and you really have to. You've got to bring your A game, man. You've got to be powerful. You've got to be really, really good. So I like that a lot because I'm not the type of person who would have challenged myself on those previous runs. It's cool for people who want to grind it out, but for me, and now that there's like this little UI element, it's like an invitation. Hey, try this out. Try Deathwish. Go in here and try a Purgatory Gate. Put Deathwish on. And then you go in and you do it, and you're like, oh man, this is tough. And when you beat it, the real like nail in the coffin moment is when you beat that Purgatory trial, you got Deathwish on, and then when you beat it, you see that you got a high score on the leaderboard. Even though the leaderboard has a bunch of cheaters, but there's also a lot of legitimate players on the leaderboard as well. It's not all 100 positions. It's probably like the top 10. And on some it's the full leaderboard. Like if you go to like chapter select on certain levels, right? All 100 spots are all cheaters. And then on like the leaderboard for story mode, where it takes your entire score, most of those leaderboards are cheaters. I'm not going to say all because I didn't actually look at all their ranks, but a large majority of them have cheated their scores, which is unfortunate. But when you go to like the purgatory gates, it's like the top 10 players are cheaters and almost everyone else is legitimate, which is great. There's still that like competitive spirit that hey, let's see how I compare, so I'm getting like anywhere from top 60, top 50, top 30, top 25, or so like positions on the leaderboard, just like going in. And I think it's because not a lot of people have dove into that. So a lot of the cheaters like didn't find interest. You know what I mean? They're still there, like the top 10 spots where you see like 100 million points in a trial that realistically only gives you about 100,000 points. If you perfect it, but you're like, well, that's and their scores like running off the screen or whatever. So that's unfortunate. But that moment where you're like, yo, I got a top score, I did the Deathwish, and then you add the final element onto it, the Untouchable. Now, Untouchable, when I got this game, I was like, that's a little bit much for me, man. I don't know. Like, am I really good enough to go for no hit runs? I'm not a no hit run kind of guy. It seems kind of grindy and frustrating. And to be honest, like it's great. It's bite sized, no hit. So you don't have to do an entire like hour long chapter not getting hit. You don't have to grind out like a million encounters. You're doing a purgatory gate. You're doing a combat trial. You're doing a boss trial. Just the boss no hit. And so because of that, Untouchable becomes very attractive. It's like this little UI. Hey, can you do Untouchable? Can you accomplish it? And so it's an invitation. You feel invited and not so overwhelmed with the idea of like, wow, I gotta beat this whole story mode chapter on Master Ninja Untouchable. It's like, nah, man, they break it down for you. And that, I think, is just enticing enough that you start to think about, okay, I can do Untouchable on a purgatory trial. I can do Untouchable on a combat trial. I can do Untouchable on a boss trial. Can I do Untouchable on the story mode? I mean, it tracks it. And when you start thinking about that, then you start thinking, what would it take to 100% all levels Untouchable, all levels Deathwish? And you don't have to do them at the same time. You can do like, okay, I'm going to do my Untouchable run. Okay, now I'm going to do my Deathwish run. Okay, now I'm going to do my S rank run. Like, you don't have to put them all together, but you can if you're a total badass. You know what I mean? And so that's something that I think, while they may have undercooked on the number of trials that we have, and they may have undercooked on how the trials only go up to hard difficulty, we don't really have Master Ninja trials. They overcooked on the boss trials. There's a lot of boss trial content for grinding rank, for grinding Untouchable and Deathwish, and beating everything with both characters. There's a lot of tracking of progress in the game. And then for chapter select and for the total overall story, like if you wanted a true 100% save file, there's enough content in this game to last you a long time doing that. Like, you always have something to strive after. Like, okay, I got to get my S ranks on normal mode, or I got to get my Untouchables on normal mode, or well, now I need my S ranks on hard mode, and now I need my Deathwish on hard mode, and my Master Ninja Deathwish, and oh yeah, my save file needs like an all score for normal and hard. I did Master Ninja, like I gotta get those in there. Like there's always gonna be something to do for quite a while. Like, you can invest a lot of time in this game if you want to, and I think a lot of people are gonna just go for the platinum, the 100% all achievements, which I think personally, as far as 100% achievements go, Ninja Gaiden 4 is probably the easiest one to do, because you can kind of cheese Master Ninja difficulty by doing it in the post game with all your upgrades and all your accessories from the start, where you circumvent the most difficult part of Master Ninja, which is the first few chapters when you don't have upgrades. So you can cheese that and thus make it not bad to get the platinum. Honestly, not bad at all. There's a couple of like painful achievements, like obliteration all enemies, where you're like, I don't have a list. I don't know what I missed. I didn't know I had to do the Onikawa side quests and then obliterate him in chapter 12 to get that achievement. Like, that's a little annoying. It's not difficult. It's just annoying, but the actual difficulty isn't that bad in Ninja Gaiden 4 for the achievements. But when you start to dive into the challenges that it invites you to do, it's pretty cool, man. Like, the combat, like, some people don't like the combat, but like I think that it is a deep combat system, and the deeper you go, the more intense it gets. The more rewarding and satisfying it gets, the more you invite yourself to open you up to these challenges. So for example, some people just don't do ultimate techniques. I'm an ultimate technique guy. I've always been, an ultimate technique guy just because the games have always rewarded you for that, and they still reward you in this one. So it's kind of an old habit, I suppose. But I'm seeing more and more legitimate scores on the leaderboard that don't really use more than 1 or 2 ultimate techniques, and sometimes 0. I'm seeing people go crazy with no ultimate techniques and get high scores and get untouchable and get Deathwish, where I'm like, oh my god. And then I'm seeing like certain things where there's like only 5, like a top 100 leaderboard, and only 5 people could do untouchable, you know. And I'm just like, oh my god, like this one is really hard. It's really hard to not get hit because of the poison and the puddles and the this and then that, you know. Where when you do it, you're like, holy shit, like I did it, you know. Oh my god, I did it. And you're celebrating and you're cheering. You're like, I finally did it, you know. It's fun, man. It's really fun when you step outside of like that achievement mindset, and you step outside that traditional, like, okay, Ninja Gaiden is just beat the trials and beat Master Ninja. When you go beyond that, because the game is designed for it and invites you to do it, it's super rewarding, you know. And again, it's not like as frustrating because you can do it in bite-sized chunks. You can do Deathwish, you can do Untouchable on just a purgatory tree or purgatory gate, and you can just do it on a combat trial or a boss trial, you know. And then you can do it on chapter select if you'd like as well, if you're really wanting to take the leap. Like, okay, I can do no hit on the boss, I can do no hit, let's go and do the chapter and see if I can do the boss plus the level, you know. And that's crazy, but it invites you to do that so you can build your way up to mastery. And I think that's so awesome, you know, because realistically this is going to be our Ninja Gaiden for a while. I fully believe we'll get a new Ninja Gaiden at some point. I don't think Ninja Gaiden 4 is just going to die with Ninja Gaiden 4. I think this was them like reintroducing it to the ecosystem. Like, okay, Ninja Gaiden is now a name that people will know again. Because again, Ninja Gaiden is known by old heads, people who have been around, you know, since 2004. But like, you know, a lot of people don't know the Ninja Gaiden name, but now they do. You know, it's oh yeah, that Ninja Gaiden game came out. Yeah, I didn't try it. You know, I didn't try it because I don't know, it looked hard, or I didn't really know much about it. And then another Ninja Gaiden comes out, you know, Ninja Gaiden 5 at some point. It's going to be like, all right, so this thing is here to stay. You know, people are playing Ninja Gaiden. We get another one. Let's give it a shot. It has that opportunity to grow with people who aren't already sold on Ninja Gaiden, right? And so I think we'll be seeing another one for sure. And I look forward to that. But in the meantime, it's going to take a while, man. It's going to take a while. If they do another Ninja Gaiden, it's not coming soon. I can tell you that. And so when we look at Ninja Gaiden 4, the game presents plenty of things for you to do, goals to chase after, rewards. Well, that's the thing though. Is like there really doesn't seem to be any rewards. Now we haven't 100. No one has 100%ed this game yet, right? We were told Master Ninjas would be well rewarded, and we haven't seen that yet. There's no reward for beating Master Ninja. There's no reward for like getting some Death Wishes or Untouchables that I've seen. But no one's actually 100%ed anything with Death Wish, Untouchable, or anything like that. So maybe they hit something in there, but so far it doesn't look like it. It really is just for that, like, checking the checklist off. Like, yes, I got the thing, you know? And so I'm curious. The DLC does come in January, I believe, of 2026, and so we will have more trials, more weapons, more things in the game as well. I know a lot of people are waiting for that, but honestly, the game has so much content that the way I'm thinking about it is like, weapons require weapon XP to unlock their skills. So I don't want to be sitting around like, oh, the new weapons are out, and now I'm overwhelmed with having to like buy all these skills. I'm gonna make sure my save file has maxed out weapon XP before that comes out, so I can just fully unlock the weapons, you know. I'm not going to be like stuck grinding weapon XP. And people who wait to buy the game, that's what they're going to be doing. They're going to have to do, you know, all 5 weapons plus the new weapons. It's pretty expensive weapon XP wise, you know. And then on top of that, you know, we're going to have new trials and new things to do. I'm pretty excited about that. And the real killer that solidifies like we're getting more Ninja Gaiden is that they're adding story content. They're adding story content to the DLC. What do I expect from that? I don't expect too much. Like, I'm not expecting like the next plot But what I am expecting is enough to say, look, we are interested in telling more stories with Ninja Gaiden. We're going to introduce some characters more in depth that we didn't have time to go into with the main story. You're going to get new weapons, and maybe we're going to hint at things we'd like to do in the future if we get the opportunity. That's what I'm expecting. So maybe some Tyron, maybe some more Ayane, maybe even some Kasumi, if we're really lucky. Would be really cool. Just something to get the fan base really excited to be like, they'll really love this. And I'm excited for that, man. So for me, before that DLC comes out, I want to get as much done as possible. I want to get, I've already done all my trials. I'm doing my Purgatory Gate run for Untouchable and for Deathwish right now at the same time. And so I want to get that done. And then I want to dig into probably boss trials, get some boss trials done because I've done all the normal mode ones. I didn't get high ranks on all of them, and I definitely didn't do Deathwish or Untouchable. And so I'd like to wipe out my hero mode trials because they do track hero mode boss trials, and then wipe out, making progress on my normals, maybe do Untouchable and Deathwish, yada yada yada. Work up to hard, work up to Master Ninja, just for the sake of progress, just getting stuff done, because that makes my brain go, yeah, you got it done, dude. Check off the box, So yeah, there's a lot in this game to do. I'm loving it actually. Once I realized that these goals were there to chase and that they're actually something you can accomplish and that they're fun to go after, my brain just started going like, I want to play more Ninja Gaiden 4. I want to play more Ninja Gaiden 4. Like 100% achievements wasn't enough. There's so much more to do. I just wish that I was unlocking costumes at the same time. That's like the one thing. If I could just get like new costumes for doing this stuff, oh my god, it would be so perfect. It really would. Because then you're like, oh yeah, did you get the costume you get for getting untouchable in all the combat trials? Dude, people would freak out. They would freak out, man. Oh, did you get the Deathwish costume for Ryu? You know what I mean? Oh my god, that would be so cool. So definitely opportunities. Definitely opportunities for the developers. But in any case, those are my thoughts. Those are my ideas. That's my Hinkle McCringleberry take. And for now, I'm going to go, guys. I'm going to head back. But until next time, enjoy some Ninja Gaiden. Give me your thoughts. And if you didn't like Ninja Gaiden 4 initially, go ahead and try pursuing some of these things. I challenge you. Pursue some of these things a little bit. Try the Purgatory Gates. Go after the no hits. Go after the Untouchables. Just one or two. And then let me know your thoughts. Like, did it change your perception of the game? Did you actually enjoy the challenge of going at that? Did you try to work the combat system in your favor to do that, or did it still kind of fall flat for you? I'm genuinely curious, because maybe that changes it, or maybe it doesn't. Maybe you're like, I still didn't enjoy it. And hey, fair. You don't enjoy what you don't enjoy, right? But I think that there's a little secret ingredient in the sauce here that people are not gonna try that dish, and I think you should absolutely try it, even if you think it's well beyond your skills. Like, you'll genuinely impress yourself trying to go after, especially Purgatory Gate 1, man. Purgatory Gate 1 is like the easiest Purgatory Gate, so doing it on that one is a fair start. Like, you're not too sure of yourself, jump into that one, see how you fare. I think you'll impress yourself. But anyways, until next time, this is Burrito Ninja Guy, and I will Burrito Ninja Guy you next time. See you later.